Hi all, how's it going? Today I wanted to go over a song by 21 Pilots, purely because I think it sounds really cool and it's quite simple in terms of structure and everything else, but the parts are very, very, very cool.
They say in your lane, boy, and we go where we want to. They think this thing is a highway.
I actually hung out with Josh for a little while. He said to me that Tyler basically comes up with everything and writes everything and produces everything. I think it was in the basement of his house. That kind of made me really think about how talented they are, because I mean basically he's writing everything down in like their basement, which is ridiculous. So first of all, we've got that really cool part that sounds like it's played on probably a ukulele or something, but you can get away with it on the guitar. We're in standard tuning, and for this I'm using my Strat, and I'm going to use these two pickups here, but play around with this if you're using a different style guitar. So basically we start off with this D minor chord. So I'm playing the first, or the highest 4 strings, Magpie, and then we're going to go down to an A minor. For this I'm barring the highest 3 strings, so the G, B and the E string with my index finger, and then I'm using the ring finger to hit the D string note. But obviously this track doesn't sound like that, they're not ringing out. So what you need to do is employ some palm muting, and this might seem a little bit strange because usually when we're palm muting it's more the kind of E, A and D strings as opposed to the G, B and E strings. So you might need to get used to kind of working around. For me on this guitar, so the volume knob on this guitar is pretty close to where my palm's going to be, so I needed to kind of spend a little time adjusting where my hand was going to go. But essentially what you're going to do is just hit the first note, which in this case is a D, and then we're going to pick, like we're strumming, the G, B and E strings. So if you can hear the notes ringing, ironically in this case we don't want them to sound. Make sure they're all nice and muted. And then we go down to the A minor shape. We're adding in a G note. So if you listen to the track, it's going to go like this. What you can also hear in certain parts of the song as well is like a sort of on the and of the beat. So what I mean by that is you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The and we can say is like an upstroke. If I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, the and would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's a skank, I would call it. And those that are eagle-eared will hear that I'm putting in a G major just before we go back up to the D minor. Then we have this, it is a bass line, but you could play it on the guitar if you wanted to. Which is basically going to go from D, C to A, and then we're going to go from C to an A, and then we're going to go down from A to G. So that last note there was your G. And then in the verse he kind of does some variations of it. Then when we get to the bridge and it goes into all the kind of crazy drum and bass stuff, you want to hit your B string on this D note, which is the 15th fret, and then go down to the 14th fret of the G string, which is an A. And then what you'll hear after a while is like this G, I suppose it's a synth sound on the track, but you could play it with a G octave. When I've started figuring it out, I would play it there, but now when I've listened back to it, I think it sounds a little bit better here. And that's kind of about it. So I hope you have some fun. Like, subscribe, comment, dislike, I don't care. Let me know what you think. Well, I do care. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know your suggestions. I'd love to hear some covers of this in like a rock format or a punk format, or even like jazz or blues or anything else really. In fact, what would that sound like?